We are WNST, AM 1570, Towson, Baltimore, and Baltimore positive. A long week waiting for the Pittsburgh Steelers and trying to get the defense together and get the kicker right and get everything else together. We know Lamar has it together, and I have the Maryland Crab Cake Tour together. All of it brought to you by our friends at the Maryland Lottery. I have Raven scratch-offs to give away. This was the kiss face bird thing right here on the ticket that we wore on the helmet, that the logo was a little small, but I kind of liked it. Luke and I did a whole segment on fashion tweets because what else would you talk about after 35-34 victory over the Cincinnati Bengals? Also, our friends at Jiffy Lube Multicare putting us out on the road. I'm wearing my Coco shirt. We're going to be at Coco's on December 4th. A lot of my crab cake places, as you know, in the crab cake tour, they ship through the holidays, and they're like, get in earlier because it gets crazy. And Pete's over Costa. She's like, we got the room out. We got all this groups coming in for Christmas parties, holiday parties. I'm like, we'll do the show at the bar. So we're going to be doing it under Christmas trees and holiday ornaments with all of our friends. All of it brought to you by our friends at the Maryland Lottery. I'll have Raven scratch-offs. No scented tickets to give away this year, but perhaps peppermint scratchers, but not sniffers. John Martin is here. He's the executive director of all things Maryland Lottery and Gaming, and is so very responsible with his job and what he does. That he goes to bed at halftime on football games on Thursday night and awakened to see that we played some football here on Thursday night. And I know you have your Pass for Cash and you have a whole bunch of things going on. Listen, I know your game's exciting and Tickets for Life's exciting and going to New York in a couple of weeks would be exciting. But tell you what, nothing more exciting than lining up for two with your life on the line at the end of the game.
Wow.
And the Bengals,
Wow.
right? I mean, there's strategy and then
Yep.
there's just good fortune, I would say.
Well, yeah, and boy, if nothing else, I'm in the good fortune business. But yeah, how about that? And truth be told, self-disclosure here, self-reporting. I normally don't even stay up for the kickoff, let alone halftime. So that's what kind of
Luke and
night
I
owl
have
I
done
am.
long segments
Oof.
on boycotting Thursday night football just based on the fact that we don't think they should be playing because we've met football players and we realize like they can't talk physical safety. I'm not a proponent of Thursday night. And now that it's only on my computer and not really on my TV because of the way I do my cable and like that, I can't say I watch a lot of Thursday night football when I'm not engaged or when it's not an AFC sort of North or maybe a Patrick Mahomes or something like that. But it was a great game. I mean, as much as we kick it around, it's something we're going to be talking about here for 10 days.
Yeah, yeah. And you know who else will be talking about it? Let me make sure I get this right here. I believe, yes, 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 yes.
Those late
W,
touchdowns made somebody money. I know it.
yes, W, first initial only, W Mitchell of Pikesville.
We
Uh,
discussed W last week because I said if you're going
yes.
to pick either game, pick the one against Cincinnati because they can't play defense. That's what I said.
Wow. Wow. I hope W. Mitchell watches to the end because they get $1,000 for being selected our fan of the game. And this is all available at mdlottery.com. Of course, talking about our Ravens second chance opportunity. If you buy the $2 or $10 ticket and you may not win a cash prize, please enter those into our drawings. We have drawings, next one coming up next week. So we'll have drawings in November, December, and two in December to have drawings for second chance prizes. One of them is to be the fan of the game. So $1,000 just to be selected, and then $1,000 for each touchdown. Nestor, you do the math because I'm not good at it. How much did W. Mitchell win yesterday?
Is is that 1, 6, 7? How much was it?
There were 5 touchdowns for a
6,000.
grand
Six,
and
six.
six,
Five
so
and five and one is
six.
6.
Yes,
I was
yes,
doing the
yes,
math
yes.
on that. You know what I was thinking about? I was thinking about the New York trip because, like,
Mhm.
we
Yep.
we need to promote that, right? When does that the trip soon, right? But I mean, when do we win, or did we
Middle
win?
of December. No, we've already selected those winners. Again, you can find them at mdlottery.com. There'll be 3 lucky winners: Leonard Brown of Granite, Maryland, Juan Garcia of Riverdale, Maryland, and Raymond Jones of Salisbury. Those 3 lucky winners and a guest will be on the team train to New York for that game on the 15th. I believe it's the 15th of December.
Have I ever told you about my train ride with the Ravens? Have I told you this story?
Go ahead.
No, so in the history of the Ravens in 30 years, I rode on the team charter twice. One way, twice. And this is back in the Modell eras before Steve Bisciotti owned the team. And David loved me, and nobody thought anything, media being on or whatever. It wasn't like that. It was convenience. So the first time I rode the train back from the Meadowlands after a preseason game. Remember, we used to play those preseason game
Sure.
up there back here. So they played a preseason game, and this is when I was nationally syndicated, and I was in New York working, doing my show at Mickey Mantle's on Central Park South to plug the trip because I love dun, 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 dun. So I love New York. So especially the desserts, the cookies. It's the French desserts that bring me to New York. So the team train was coming home, and I was over in the Meadowlands. This is when cabs were $100 and whatnot. And I was in New York working, and they played a preseason game, and I bummed the ride back with the team. The team had the train, and I said, "Can I jump on the train to get home? Otherwise, we have to go back to New York and get on the train to get home and spend the night, whatever." Kevin Byrne, Art Modell, Dave Modell, get on the train. John, I got on that train, and it's like Acela, 2 hours and 12 minutes, doesn't stop in Philly or Wilmington, nothing, nothing like that. Just
You
boom,
got the
you go.
express, man. You are
Right.
on the
So I was,
express
but
train.
this is 25 years ago now. This is 2001. I can tell you exactly when it was. It was after they won the Super Bowl. It was like August of '01. This was that train ride. When I got on that train, and I had never been on the plane, I did that a month later, coming back from Denver after 9/11. It was the only way to get home. Remember, all the flights were
Yep.
messed up and whatnot.
Oh
The
yeah.
Ravens allowed me to fly on the team charter home from Denver, and we ate on that one too. But just the food alone. Last year, I had the winner on who went to Jacksonville with the team, and the first thing he talked about was Roquan Smith giving him cheesecake. And I'm thinking, you know why Roquan gave you cheese? Because there was a lot of cheesecake. There's just a lot of everything. It's kind of like that flight that Elaine and Jerry were on, coming back. More of anything, more of everything. And when it leaves New York, everything's better in New York. Trust me. And they put it on the train. So these winners, if I were them, if you put them on with me, like we say, December 15th is when the game is, it's holiday time. Put the eggnog there. I wouldn't eat. I would fast before I got on the train on Saturday going up to New York and back because I've never
Well,
seen more better food. I ate
don't
really
make
well on that train ride.
don't make promises you can't keep. You are not the culinary executive on this trip, so I don't know what will be available to them. But yeah, hopefully the three of them will have a wonderful time and their guests. That's coming up
I'm just
in December.
telling you, my train ride with the Ravens from New York was something I'd like to talk about 25
Did you
years
get to
later.
actually go up to the little train engineer station? Did they put the little hat on you and give you the woo
No, and it
woo?
wasn't like Silver Streak where they had
Oh,
waiters and they brought the thing out and the cover did it. It wasn't
oh.
anything. It was just like a lot of food. It was like boxes of food. It was a lot of food. It was delicious.
Well, those are big guys. They need to
Well,
eat.
you
Even in the
know,
preseason, they need to eat.
everybody feels like a winner except the Bengals here this weekend. And I
Oof.
know you have big numbers, and we talk a lot about this. And I did go to New York this week, and it was interesting. When I went through various states, I saw the 1-800 gambler message
Good.
for everyone. And so I want to bring that out this time of the year. It's football season, and I see the inducements to wager and whatnot. But we still have a very, very lively casino environment in the state. I was down at MGM for a concert last month. I put pictures up. A friend of mine went down to Maryland Live recently and just said beautiful things about his experience there and how lovely and nice it was. You have numbers. You still, aside from just the lottery as well as sports wagering, there's still a whole casino environment, a lot going on here in the state as you add up numbers and what all of this means for really for the citizens on an election week. John Martin of the executive director of the Maryland Lottery.
I just don't know where we find the time, Nestor, but we do. That's what we do here. We have good people who find the time to do things like reporting and regulating our casino industry. Of course, we have 6 casinos we're very proud to partner with throughout the state. And once a month, typically around the first week of every month, we release our casino numbers. And for the month of that would have been October, right? Here we are in November. So the month ending October 31st. Casino revenue was about $160 million, which was a good month, a decent month for revenue. But then we also contribute to the state coffers and the additional $68.6 million to the state in the month of October. The key thing about that is cumulatively, easy for me to say, from when we started the casino business in 2010 to now, we just crossed the $6 billion, that's with a B, a $6 billion threshold on our contribution to the Education Trust Fund, which is one of the key
Whoa, whoa,
primary
whoa, whoa, whoa.
beneficiaries.
$6 billion in 15 years?
Yep. Those nickels and dimes add up, don't they?
That's a huge number. Yeah, yeah, I mean, like that's
Well,
bigger than I thought you were going to tell me, and I guess that's why we're talking about it and bragging on it a little bit. The thing
yep.
I would say about the casino thing, and I've done business with Hollywood Casino last year.
Hmm.
We did picks, we did numbers. I know they've done some rebranding and ESPN and Barca, a lot of things that have gone on. Just since mobile came on, you and I have been talking about this for a number of years when just trying to get mobile wagering together. And now I see it and feel it when I'm out crab cake touring, when I'm places, the way people interact with sports. But there's still a part for me, and my wife and I went to see Sting right after my birthday. So it was in October. We contributed. We
How's he
contributed. We
do?
were,
How's he doing? Incidentally, tell him I say hello next time you
you
talk to
know
him.
what? That's not the wrestler Sting now, not the guy with the painted face. We're talking.
Oh,
No, no, no. Sting, Roxanne, police. So Sting played right around my birthday is when Stevie Wonder was down at the arena, October 15th, 16th. And I forgot about it. I didn't put it in my calendar. I woke up. My wife, Sting's number one for her, right? It's like we're going to see Sting if we can. So got some tickets and we went down and it's like walking into Las Vegas to some degree, and it's closer than you think. All the places are, but it's a great experience, and it's one where like for my wife and I guess part of it's Sting, part of it's getting in the car and navigating, getting down the DC Beltway and whatnot. But it feels like you want to. I had to shave. I had to get. I felt there's something about going out and having that available. And you said 2010. I was 42 years. Oh God, I'm getting old, John. I was 42 years old before that was available, other than AC or what you would do on
sure.
a full blown level. It didn't really become fully sports capable in this state until 5 minutes ago, literally under your watch here recently, where for the first 30 years of my radio career, to talk about betting on things would be going to Vegas. And for the first 22 years of my radio career, betting and wagering and blackjack and casino games and that great night out meant getting on a plane to Las Vegas. And now you come back 15 years later, you're like, $6 billion. All of that money used to go to Vegas or go to Atlantic City or go somewhere else. Or, as we would say, the bookmaker down at getting the Sabatino
Sure.
salad. But this is on the up and up now, and I'm guilty as charged. I went to a casino last month and had a good time and got dressed up with my
Ah,
wife, and I didn't have to fly to Vegas. So there's your public service
good for
announcement. We
you.
had a great night.
Good for you. And it's interesting too, because those are the casino numbers. Next week, we'll announce our sports wagering numbers for the month. They typically are on that cadence. We announce the first week of the month, sports or casino revenues, second week of the month, sports wagering. And it'll be interesting when the numbers come out because I've had a little sneak peek at them before they run out. That the handle, the amount of money that we took in on sports wagers, will set an all-time record. It'll be the largest sports wagering handle that we've had ever in Maryland on sports wagering, which is not necessarily surprising. When you look at it, October is a very robust month. It is one of those interesting months where you've got professional baseball with World Series playoffs going on. You've got professional football, you've got hockey, and you've got the NBA, you've got basketball. So you have the big four all have significant activity in the month of October, as well as the college football season and the other sports that are of interest to people. So it's a very heavy calendar, which is clearly contributes to the handle, the net amount wagered. But the interesting part is that distribution. And as we talked and tying into your recent comment here, 97% of the sports wagering money action is on the phone. Only 3% of that sports wagering revenue is people physically in the casino.
And let's say this, and I don't want to throw you under the bus as the executive director. We've been talking for a number of years. I don't think anybody was prepared for 97-3, right? Like
No,
I think 85-15, maybe 90-10. Like this is something y'all got wrong. Like we brag about things, we get them right or whatever, but there was no guessing that they would be this heavily engaged because to my point, it's a thing to do. It's a night out. It's drinks and music and dancing and entertainment, shopping, a big steak if you want, some Mexican food, whatever, Asian food in the case of Maryland. I mean, just it's a night out and it's a plan to make. And I think no one knew how popular this was going to be, the mobile side of sports wagering, right?
When the numbers are released next week, again, those people who really care about numbers will do a little deeper dive at it. And what you're going to see is that the hold, what's left after the sports books take in the money and pay out the winners, how much do they hold what's left? And the numbers are relatively low in the month of October, as they have been in previous months compared to previous months, which means the players are winning more. And why do the players win more? Well, the favorites tend to win more. People tend to emotionally bet the favorite. And when you look at the Ravens and the Commanders and the success they had in the month of October, you look at people who maybe, I know you're shocked to hear this, may have been anti-Yankees and were betting heavily on my beloved Guardians early on, but then more importantly, again, with the Dodgers. When those favorites win, players win, but the hold gets smaller. And so you're going to see some relatively smaller hold numbers, and especially in retail. Even though it's only 3%, significantly, even for some locations, below zero holds, which means they were paying more than what they were able to hang on to, which was an interesting dynamic to me. And I'm wondering, okay, those are people that are probably consistent casino players who looked up and said, oh, look at that, the World Series is on. Let me go over to that sports book right here, take a little break from my Lucky Sevens machine, and let me walk over there and let me put a bet on the Dodgers. And that's what I'm guessing is coming out of those numbers. And certainly those are like your Northern Lights, they're once in a lifetime things.
Well, and
You're
the
not going to see that
Commanders and the
again.
Ravens both being really
Oh,
significant
sure.
with these great transcendent quarterbacks. And one thing we forget here, and look, I don't take any opportunity I've ever had to kick the Washington football franchise. It's part of my brand. I mean, 33 years into this. But I would say this: new ownership, sanitized a lot of things, but things that fans don't know here is there's like a whole part of your business that's even attached to what's going on there that's really sort of unprecedented throughout the country in sports. That's a little bit of a trendsetter. And as the Commanders go, I would think so would the action in PG and Montgomery County go toward that in a bright, bright light because it's sort of built into the stadium there. Yeah.
That only stands to reason. And whether that's enough of a bellwether change that others do that going forward remains to be seen. There are
Can you
only a few.
express that to me in my, because I'm literally, I haven't been. I haven't been to a concert down there or anything in recent. I think Coldplay played down there. Like I almost went, and now there's like a game down there that if I don't know if the right quarterback, the Chiefs were to come down there and play or something, I might be like, yeah, I'll go down there for a game. I haven't been to a game in a while. I haven't been down there. Tell me what it is, and from your perspective, from the state's perspective, because I just know it to be different, but I haven't visited it.
It is a retail, as a sports book, as part of the stadium. So it means you can walk in. You don't have to even go to the game. You don't have to have a ticket at the game. You can walk in with a separate entrance point to a standalone part of the physical stadium and walk up to the sports book and then place your bet. Obviously, there's another entrance. If you are a ticket holder, you are at the game, and you want to still go to a retail sports book, you come in a different entrance to get in. And again, you can partake in that, and those are very rare. The facility in I forget what they call them, right? They all have names, but the one out for the Arizona Cardinals is physically detached. It's on the same parcel of land, but it's detached from the stadium.
I
Um,
would think like the Philadelphia situation where like there's sports bars in the parking lot of where it is. And I'm only envisioning this as to what the Orioles are going to do and what downtown can become, because this is going on in our state, but you have to go to a Commanders game maybe or to be down on the DC Beltway. Although I drove past it going to going to the casino, I haven't seen it, and I just think it's something that certainly we should talk about because it's also contributing to numbers here as the Commanders go and become this really going concern and a really good football team, that's going to increase numbers in the state, I would think. The numbers you're going to report to me.
You would imagine that that'd be the case. But again, in other venues around the country, as they look at refurbishing stadiums, building new stadiums for their entities, and that goes across all of segments. Those relationships. I know in Cleveland, the Cavaliers have or had, I don't know if they still have it, had a similar kind of thing where you could have a retail presence within the physical structure of the facility. But those are all things that are independent jurisdictional decisions that are made. The league certainly dictates some of that as well. But
But it's
it's
happening right
another
here
way
in
to engage.
Maryland. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
John Martin's here. He's the executive director of all things at Maryland Lottery and Gaming. We put the Crab Cake Tour out on the road with our partnership with the Maryland Lottery. We have Raven scratch offs. We have I'll just throw to you. I mean, we've talked about the holiday scratch offs, different things that are going on. We've had a bunch of big winners. We had a big mega a couple of weeks ago, and changes coming to one of those games as well in the way you play. But what else is going on? Because we just had big numbers. Been a big sports week around here, and holidays coming. I got some eggnog waiting for me right around the corner.
Speaking of holidays, it is our annual Thanks Winning promotion. You can go to mdlottery.com to hear more about it. But for any draw
Is
game
that
ticket,
promotion's not a turkey, is it?
oh,
No.
I see
Oh,
what you did there.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, yeah.
I've been talking a
Okay.
lot of football around here. I'm a little
So
loopy. I'm sorry.
that's all right. That's all right.
It's been a crazy
But
week for football and American elections. I've had two and one. It's been a lot of things. Been a lot of cheering going on here the
a
last five
lot
days.
going
So
on, a lot going on.
well,
But
when you start to talk Thanksgiving to me, like that's something I can really get my arms around. So thanks winning and
thanks.
Thanksgiving, I'm into. That's no turkey.
Yep. Thanks winning any draw game ticket you purchase through the month of November. You could win on a random basis a $2 or $5 instant win cash voucher or a free $1 fast play ticket to our high low game, which is a progressive jackpot. And again, go to mdlottery.com to see how those progressive jackpots grow over time. And hopefully you're lucky enough to win there. But where the Ravens promotion continues, our Game of Thrones promotion continues, our holiday cash promotion, lots of different ways that players can engage their non-winning lottery tickets, their unscented non-winning lottery tickets, and put them in for fabulous cash prizes.
Who decides whether they're sniffers for the holidays? I mean, does this
Me,
fall on you? Yeah, I was gonna
me.
say. I feel like I'm looking around and like, who's in charge? You're the one that. Come on,
This
does it
is the
cost
nose
more?
right here.
Are
Take a
you
look
being a
at it.
cheapskate?
Take a
Are you?
look at it. This is
What
the
is it?
nose.
Is it money? Is it printing? What is it? Come on. Why
It's
do we
my
have
nose.
sniffers?
It's my nose, and we're getting dangerously close to
You know what?
sophomoric.
Next year, I'm coming in. We're gonna do fruitcake and eggnog scented tickets for the
Oh
holidays,
golly,
John.
yeah. Well, we're moving next year.
That'll
We're not
be
going to be here.
maybe cranberry. Wait, I'm coming up with ideas here, trying to thanks winning it. John Martin is the executive director of all things Maryland Lottery Gaming. He puts me out on the road with this crazy crab cake tour. We've also got the oyster tour in progress. I want to give some love to Liberty Pure Solutions, 1-800 Clean Water. My man Ray Bachman has been checking in with me. He was on the oyster tour. He's battling cancer. We're loving him up and getting him through and ringing bells and doing good stuff. So hats off to Ray. Also, our friends at Curio Wellness and Foreign Daughter putting us out 26 oysters, 26 days, 26 ways. And it's all out on the front of Baltimore Positive. We'll check back in with John Martin next week. At some point, I want to get these people back from New York and find out if the cheesecake was New York cheesecake on the way back or whatnot. And I'll start spreading the news about all that. Ravens on the road for a little bit here. Luke's and Owings Mills, all that powered up by our friends at Jiffy Lube Multicare. A little extra time waiting for Pittsburgh. A little extra football here this week. And the team on the road in San Diego, or not San Diego, Los Angeles, excuse me. Two great defensive matchups. Luke and I have been breaking football down as well as anybody here into this weird time where we have extra downtime. But the football team's 7-3. I'm Nestor. We are WNST, AM 1570, Towson, Baltimore, and we never stop talking Baltimore positive.